Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mystic Temple Spirituality for a New Age. I'm Monica Bay, also known as the Divine Mother, and I am here to bring you truth. Okay, so today we have yet another amazing passage from the Book of Rashida. But before we get into that, you will notice that my set has changed, my environment has changed. This season, I will be a lot more mobile, so you will notice the set changing here and there, and that's okay. The Cosmic Collective Consciousness told me that the set doesn't matter as much as the message. The message is what's most important. So I am giving you the message no matter where I am. And I'll be honest, this is something that the Virgo in me wants to be like, no, everything has to be the same, everything has to be perfect. But no, we're not doing that. We're kicking the Virgo to the curb today. Those of you who know me know, the Virgo is real. All right. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the passage that we have for today from the book of Rashida, and it is as follows. Then comes a time of reckoning, a time of being. We are seeing the true nature of ourselves. And now in this passage, there are four things that really stand out. The word time is mentioned three times, no pun intended. Also, the concepts of reckoning, being, and seeing. So, what I'm going to do is break each one of those down for you. So, let's first break down time. So, time is mentioned three times in this. First of all, the number three is a number of manifestation, but also time is a juncture, right? And so, why is this mentioned now? So, they're referring to there being a juncture in which is really, really important right now, and why this message is coming out. So that means it's really important to pay attention to this moment and this message right now. Now let's talk about where it says a time for reckoning. Why a time for reckoning? What is a reckoning? A reckoning is a meeting, is a coming to terms with, and an acknowledgement and a confrontation. It is a confronting of yourself, a time of reckoning. They're referring to a reckoning with yourself. It's a time to reckon with yourself, with your choices, with your decisions, with your actions, with your inactions that have shaped your current reality. So again, it always happens right at the right time, divine timing, right at the beginning of the new year, where everyone is kind of saying, "Hey, we're going to move forward and do this." And in the last Divinity session, we talked about leaving behind things in 2024 and bringing in the new versions of ourselves and things like that in 2025, and the positive things that we want to bring in 2025. So now is also a great time to reckon with yourself. And that's what this passage is calling for, a reckoning with yourself, with your decisions, with your past actions and inactions, with all the things that have led you to where you are right now. And frankly, it's about taking responsibility for where you are in your current reality. That is your responsibility, not my responsibility, not anyone else's responsibility. That is your responsibility. So, are you enjoying your current experience? And we've talked about this before in previous passages. This passage is diving deeper into that same concept. Are you enjoying your experience? Are you happy with where you are right now? Especially when you look at what your goals are and what your goals were last year, and where you are just in life. Also from a spiritual standpoint, where are you in your journey? Are you happy with that? Because now comes a time for reckoning. You must see these things. Why is it important to see these things? Because in order to move forward into a better version of yourself, in order to move forward into a happier version of yourself, in order to move forward into a more evolved version of yourself, you must reckon with yourself in truth. And that's why at the end of this passage it says you will see your true self, because the reckoning leads to revelation. And let's talk about truth for a second. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes we don't want to see the truth. Sometimes we don't want to hear the truth. La, 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 la. We don't want to hear that, right? But the truth is necessary, because you can't hide from the truth. You can't run from your truth. You can't run from the reality of who you are and what you've done or haven't done. You can't run from that. You can if you want to, but you're not going to grow. You're not going to evolve, and you will stay in a rut. So truth is something that is very, very important. And why do I always start every divinity session with I am here to bring you truth? Because that's what I'm here to do, whether you like it or not. I am here to bring you truth. And so is the book of Rashida. So is the Cosmic Collective Consciousness. We are here to bring you the truth. And you should be here to bring yourself the truth. And the problem with the evolution of humanity right now in this plane that we're in, and in the juncture that we're in this life, again, now comes a time. The problem with most of people's evolution right now is their failure and lack of desire and willingness to see their own truth, to reckon with themselves, to reckon with their past, to reckon with their present. So this is a call to you right now to begin doing that. And what do we get out of reckoning? We get a review of our choices and our past in order for us to see where we should go into the future. It is very, very important for us to learn from our mistakes or missteps or lack of acknowledgement of things or whatever you want, whatever word you want to use for that, because everything is not always a mistake. We're not going to get into that conversation right now, but it's important for you to understand where you feel you could have done better. We'll put it that way, where you feel you could have done better in order for you to actually do better, in order for you to move into your future in a better state of being. And that brings me to the next thing. It's a time to being. That's the next part of this passage. Being is referring to simply being, is being in the present moment, but also self acceptance, self forgiveness. So while we are reckoning with ourselves and making sure we are seeing the truth and being able to be honest with ourselves about what we've done or haven't done, right? While we're doing that, we're also not infusing ourselves with guilt. We're also not infusing ourselves with negativity and self deprivation and all of those negative things. We're not doing that. Being is about just allowing yourself to be, recognizing with you have to recognize it with a sense of detachment in terms of, yes, I made these choices. Yes, I did that. And yes, now that I am reckoning with myself, I understand why I did that, right? And now I understand how I can do better, but it's not a judgment. Understand that a reckoning is different than a judgment. Remember, the universe does not judge, nor should you judge yourself. This is not about judgment. This is about a reckoning of understanding and then a movement into change and evolution. And let's not forget authenticity. That's really, really important. So, authentically moving forward into your future, authentically being present in the moment and being present with yourself and loving yourself. Self acceptance is also about self love. Okay? Self acceptance, we're going to dive into that for a second. Self acceptance is really about accepting who you are, flaws or not flaws. First of all, I don't really believe we have any flaws. I believe we have reasons for things. I believe we have explanations for things, but I don't believe that anything is necessarily a flaw. And this is the difference of looking at yourself as, oh, I did this, oh, I suck. We're not saying that. We're saying we all move through this world, and we've talked about this many times in previous divinity sessions about how it is not easy to move through this human experience, right? We have choices to make, and sometimes we make a choice that leads us into an experience we don't like, and that's okay, because we can course correct, we can move. But if you are not reckoning with yourself, you cannot course correct. What is a course correction? A course correction is first understanding that you're in need of a course correction. How can you understand you're in need of a course correction if you are not looking to see that and if you are not asking those questions? This is why a reckoning is so important in order to be. Okay? You have to reckon and then be and then see. So that leads me into the third part of this passage, which is seeing the true nature of yourself. The true nature of yourself is that we have free will. We have a path. We have a set path that is mostly already set. But there's so many little things that we can do in our own lives that can veer us off path or veer us on different paths. And sometimes that veering, what we consider veering off path, was meant to be and is in divine timing, because there are certain things that are going to happen on that path that'll then lead you right back to where you were supposed to be. So the nature of being is imperfection. Okay. Doubling back to what I said in the beginning, how I'm going to be mobile and having to kick my Virgo to the side that wants everything to be perfect. Okay. Imperfection, understanding that the law of impermanence, nothing is ever permanent. Okay. Nothing is ever perfect. Nothing is ever together and stays that way, because the universe fluctuates. So do we, so do our spirits, so do our lives. Our lives are not a straight path. It's usually a curvy road. But on those curves, much is learned. On those curves, we receive so much. We have so many opportunities. I put that in bold right now, if it were writing opportunities, because it's an opportunity, not a given, because we again have the decision to make. We have a choice at every juncture of our lives, every curve in that road. We have opportunities to make different choices. There may be 5 choices before us, and depending on our choice, okay, that may be an internal choice, that may be an external choice, but depending on our choice, that will determine our next experiences that we have. And what else is the true nature of yourself? Your divinity. That is the true nature of you, who you actually are. So it's not only about looking at your life, your incarnation right now, it's also about looking at past incarnations. It's also about looking at the soul itself. It's also about recognizing the divinity within you. So, first, you need to reckon with yourself. Then, you need to be. Again, not bringing in guilt, not bringing in any of that, but self acceptance, self love, being in the present moment, living in the present moment, not in the past. Again, that's where guilt and all those other things lie. We're not living in the past. We reckon with the past so that we can learn the future, right, and do better in the future, but we don't stay in the past. We are in the present moment, being, okay? And then we can see the true nature of ourselves as we continue to move through this world. So you see, reckoning clears the past, being centers the present, and seeing illuminates the future. And bringing it all together, now is a time for this. Now is a time for this. So in the juncture of where we are right now on this journey, on this new evolution, on this revolution that we are doing here at Mystic Temple, and this worldwide movement that we're doing, this global awakening movement, where we are in this juncture now is a time to reckon, to be, and to see, for you to be able to really truly evolve. And what does this evolution bring you? This evolution brings you life, it brings you fulfillment, it brings you joy. And you're not alone, okay? As you rise, we all rise, because remember, this is a collective effort. No one of us is alone. We have oneness, we are all one. So as you rise in your vibration, we all rise in our vibration. And as we all do it together, the entire world will rise in vibration. And as we are ushering in this new world, again, this is why it is so, so important for you to be focused on this right now. And so, what I want you to do, I want you to walk away with the notion that now is the time for you to reckon with yourself, stay true to yourself, and really, really ask the right questions and really dive deep. Journaling will help you do that. Journaling will help you do that. Meditation will help you do that. Communicating with your spirit guides will help you do that. Really focus. And if you are a Mystic University student, if you're not, you should be. If you are a Mystic University student, taking the timeline matrix reconstruction class and doing those exercises, helping you really, really reconstruct your timeline matrix, that will actually help. Again, if you're not a student at Mystic University, you can either join with the All Access Pass, or you can purchase that class by itself. But it is a game changer. If you're doing that, do that. If you're not, then journal. Journal, journal, journal. Really, really go within and begin to do the work. It's really important. And it doesn't take you long to do it. All you need is maybe 10 minutes for a couple of days, and you can really, really start to dive in. You have to take it seriously, though. And if you are new at meditating, if you are new at going within, make sure you join the Facebook group, because we do a lot of that there. It's free. Join the Facebook group. Again, you can also join Mystic University. And remember, we do have the Pathways to Divine Consciousness and Fulfillment program. That is a Mystic Temple program in Mystic University. All proceeds go as a donation to Mystic University. And it is actually helping you evolve in your consciousness. It is helping you raise consciousness. If you stay in that program, you will be good. So definitely do that. But what I want you to do is make sure that you are really taking the time to do this now and really focus on this message today. Run it back, watch it again, focus on this message, and see how you can apply that to your personal life. Again, that inner reflection is necessary. And if you have any, let's get to the second part of that, where the being, if you have any guilt, if you have any self deprivation going on, self-hate, and things like that. Now is the time to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that because, again, understanding the true nature of yourself, seeing the true nature of yourself, that you are divine, you shouldn't have that anyway, right? If you really, really understand that, you shouldn't have that anyway. But if you do, that's okay. If you do, now is the time to start kicking that to the curb. Now is the time to start working through those shadows. Work through those shadows. If you join the Facebook group, there is several things in there, several resources in there for working with your shadows, shamanic journeys, a bunch of other stuff. Also, if you go to the YouTube channel, there are meditations in there, and also Mystic Circle TV. You know, we've done meditations about shadows and things like that. So there's plenty of resources that I've been giving you guys for free that you can do this work. And it's really important that you do this shadow work because you should not be stepping into anyone's future with that kind of energy, okay? You need to forgive yourself for anything that you feel that you have done wrong or anything like that. You need to forgive yourself, and part of that forgiveness, self-forgiveness, is understanding the nature, the true nature of yourself. Again, meditation works for just about everything. Meditation is probably, like I always say, it is like I always say meditation because it fixes everything, just about. If you really do it right, and if you do it for a while and really get into the groove of that. So I encourage all of you to do that at home and make sure that you are fully stepping in to this year, to the rest of this year and the rest of your life, okay? The rest of your incarnation, your human experience with power, okay? We can have an amazing human experience, or we can have a sucky human experience. Which one do you want? Okay, I'm giving you all the tools that you need, giving you all the tools that you need. All right. With that being said, I'm now going to speak love, life, and power into all of you at home using the divine language. Okay. Evumastiote. Evumastihoteshe, 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 Resha, 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 Resha Briel, Resha Briel, Resha Briel, Resha Briel, Behate Briel, Behate Briel. Behate Briel, Behate Briel, Eshna Popoeshna Sha, Eshna Popoeshna Sha, Eta Popoeshna Sha, Behate Briel, Behate Briel, Ishna, 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 Ishna Briel, Ishna Briel. Ishna Breel, Eshna Popoeshna Sha, Eshna Popoeshna Sha, Eshna Popoeshna Sha. And now I will end with a prayer in the divine language, which essentially means peace be unto you. Zor Kumti. And I'll see you next time.
Stepping onto the street, I'm feeling fierce. No more hiding in shadows, fighting fears. A mirror in the sky, reflecting me. I am who I am, unapologetically. I'm stepping in my power, hear me roar. Dancing to the rhythm of my core. Forgive myself for all I've left behind. Told that I'm divine, I've been redefined. Authentic truth is what I'm living now. No mask, no lies, I'm taking my vow to look within and reckon with the pain. Find the strength to stand through every rain. I'm stepping in my power, hear me roar. Dancing to the rhythm of my core. Forgive myself for all I've left behind. Know that I'm divine, I've been redefined. Each scar on my heart tells a story true. Masterpiece of light painted in blue. Understanding all the shadows in me helps me pave the way for what must be. I'm stepping in my power, hear me roar. Dancing to the rhythm of my core. Forgive myself for